Morning, it's Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide. Hope this video finds you well. Bank holiday Monday. I'm just in the process of knocking out a few of the wristbands to the troops. Got some here which I've just finished. Lisa's on her way, and Jackie's, and Greg's, and Josephine, and a few others. So they'll be in the post today. As soon as I finish the video, I'll go and post them, so they'll probably be with you by about Wednesday. If anybody else wants any more, give us a shout. We've got over 1,000 out there at the moment, which is fantastic. And certainly the feedback is very positive. Some people feel it's quite, well, belittled the efforts, but to me, you know, it's a long-term game. I knew that when we started it 6 years ago, when I challenged Williamson about the fact that they weren't recording any statistics in regards to the deaths in the veterans community. Yet we're very confident, and Johnny Mercer followed suit really, we're very confident telling me there wasn't an issue. Well, there's a massive issue. We've lost 20 this year already, just for people that don't know, could be 21. And that's what we know of, there's more than that. Well, we say that, but that's the truth. And they are unofficial figures. That keeps being levelled at me as well, trying to beat me down with a big stick. But yes, they might be unofficial, but they're a reality for the veterans community and their families. There's not anybody now that doesn't know somebody that's either passed, that they've served with. I don't believe that exists now. And like I always said, when I was serving, I never even heard of suicide. It just never happened. But now we're in the middle of a, as Lord Dannett said, we're in the middle of an epidemic, a suicide epidemic. And it's not getting any better. For all the efforts, it's not getting any better. And that's the most frustrating part of it all. You know, my feed came up yesterday, and we had 19, I think it was last year, this today, 19. Like I say, I think we're on 20, possibly 21. So, you know, what can we keep doing? We can only do what we can do. You know, the government's made it plainly clear they're not willing to do anything. They're not investing the finances to make it right. They're not listening. At least Johnny Mercer tried to bang the doors down and open the doors. But as we all know, and as we could have told Johnny, the doors are firmly closed, and you know, the darkness and deceit behind them only occasionally comes out, as is in the news today, about, you know, watching porn and all the rest of it. You know, it's one rule for one and one rule for another. And that's so sad. You know, I keep going on about the 40, you know, it's 40 years, the Falklands this year, anniversary. I think today was the day when the Vulcan bombers went and did their business, even though they missed, you know, massive thing what they did, but they didn't actually close the airport, which was sad. But those people that did all those things, so many of them are suffering now. And where they were heroes then, they're now zeros now. They don't care. And the thing is, the guys that did Iraq, they've been hit hard, and Afghanistan hard as well. And that will manifest over time, you know, in the future. They'll be the guy, I mean, we're losing guys now from those conflicts, but as they get older and the resolve wears down, again, we're going to have more problems. And isn't it about time the government acknowledged, embraced the situation, you know, and in the memory of the people that we've lost, to, I think they owe it to their families to do something about it so that they can start investing. It ain't going to happen overnight. Before we said that, here we are 5, 6 years down the line, and like I say, nothing's really changed. I see a lot of committees, a lot of people talking about it. I was involved in a couple last week where I sat on the Zoom meetings, and I just thought, it's all talk. You know, there's a couple of reports at the moment. What do you think? Well, I think the same as I did 6 years ago. There's not enough focus on it. There's not enough money. There's not enough resources being played into it. We can't get the doctors overnight that we need. You know, look at America. And they're a good example. They've got this shit together. They've still got problems. But they've got hospitals for veterans. They've got rest homes for veterans. We've got nothing. Well, virtually nothing. Nothing of note. Nothing that's stemming the tide. Nothing that's showing the people that are struggling that something in the short term is going to work for them. Delays, and more delays. As I said, you know, I'm in a situation where I waited. I'm no expert, but I'm in the middle of it. I can see it from both sides. I understand it can't be done overnight, but I also understand that something does need to be happening. Somebody does need to be shouting from the rooftops. I feel like I've made myself unpopular in my own core, who I love. You know, I really do. I've done myself no favours by saying what somebody far more senior than me should have been saying all along. Like I say, you know, look at the officers who are serving at the moment. I spoke to one yesterday. Jeff, my hands are tied. I can't do nothing. When I get outside, I might be in a better position, but I can't do nothing now. That's terrible. What do you mean you can't do nothing now? You're on the ground with these guys you're seeing. They're your men that are dying. And in the future, you're going to be in the same situation as so many officers are, because the officers' corps don't talk about it. But let me tell you now, there's loads of them suffering. Loads. And a lot of them are passed as well. One even committed suicide in the officers' mess to prove a point. Hung himself in the officers' mess. Didn't get spoke about. Oh, don't talk about that. So, you know, that's where we are. I've got a good team around me and they're working really hard. We've had some new additions that are helping massively. You know, big respects to Sean and Craig, who I've been involved a long time, but, you know, they're doing a bit more than they did before. They're helping me out enormously. I can't take the pressure anymore. There's just too much. And Jules is on holiday at the moment. Well-deserved break for Jules. She doesn't stop. But we, as VUAS, whereas we are building awareness, there's no two ways about that. We aren't making a difference, and that hurts me. But I don't know what else we can do. Now, the government is guilty of neglect. That's a fact. But nobody's willing to challenge them. It's us and them. You know, and you know, just I don't want to sound like I'm whinging. I'm just saying the facts as they are. If you're an officer and you get PTSD, what's your options? Have a think about it. As an officer with a load of dosh, rich mum and dad in some cases. Right, let's get him to see the private sector. Let's get him in the private sector. Let's get him sorted out. The average guy on the ground not have that luxury. What he has to do is contact his doctor, who will put him in contact with Up Courage, as they did with myself. And the next thing you know, it's a time delay. Depends where you are in the country. As I said, it's a postcode lottery. You have to wait, and you have to wait patiently. And some people pass during that period of waiting. I've waited since September. That's 6 months. Nothing. And there's lots of people like myself. So don't tell me that it's been done in a timely manner, because it's not. You have a situation in the Midlands at the moment where one health authority are being taken to court. because the neglect to children. What about the neglect to British servicemen? Why is nobody taking a MOD to court? I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it. But somebody should. Because there's a case to be won there easily. But it'll cost. The health minister should be on the television apologising to the veterans community. But he's not. Because he don't care. He just pretends it's not happening like so many others. And that's all I can do. I can keep banging the drum. And I will continue banging the drum. Because I know lots of people that have died. I know more than anybody probably, because like I say, I've got the statistics in front of me and I look at them and I look at them and I think, God, is this really, really happening? Why aren't people up in arms about it? Why does it appear to the average bloke on the ground that nobody cares? Because the truth is, nobody does care. Except for the families, except for the veterans community itself. We care. There's so many groups around the country doing fantastic work. But who's screaming and shouting about it? Us, VUAS. Get slagged off every day for what I'm doing. But I'm passionate about it. Because there by the grace of God go I and so many of my friends. PTSD does not distinguish between male or female, young or old. Just doesn't. Rank doesn't matter. If you've been passionate about what you've done in your career and you've had to be in the situations that we didn't want to be in, but we found ourselves in, and we did the best we possibly could for ourselves and our country and our men, and our women, if you had women serving with you. During my period of career, there wasn't many around, sadly. But no, it's completely different. And they're struggling. And they've got their whole lives in front of them. That's my message. It ain't getting any better. We need to keep battling. We need to be positive. One thing that's really working well, which I've introduced, is the body checks. Now, they are working. If you're struggling, you reach out, not to your doctor. He can be informed, but because he doesn't know what's going on, in my humble opinion, and he hasn't got the resources at his fingertips to put you on what they'll do is they'll stick you on medication and dumb you down and say, right, get on with it. Whereas, because they can't just put you in front of a psychiatrist and start the treatment. But I'm losing my train of thought now anyway, so I need to stop. But we need to make sure that the body checks are continued, that we keep battling in the hope that one day the resources will be made available, as they are in America, and the majority of our countries that we've battled alongside with have got better systems than us. I think it's sad we're in that situation, but that's the truth of the matter. The truth hurts sometimes. People need to look at themselves and say, am I doing enough? Could I do more? I don't want people putting the amount of hours that I find myself putting in, because it's not healthy. But if you say you're going to do something, please do it, because it will help in the long term. We are saving lives. Imagine what the losses would be if we all just gave up and said, do you know what, sod it, get on with it. Government wants to kill half the bloody veterans community, let them. And the problem as well is so many veterans have done so well for themselves, have not been inflicted in any way. So they don't know what it is to lose yourself, to feel despondent, to feel suicidal, to feel that you're valueless, to feel that no one cares, no one understands you, no hope. That's why people go, and we've got to change that trend. America did it. Their Vietnam veterans came back from Vietnam, and people used to throw stuff at them. Look how patriotic America is now. Patriotic to their veterans and to their serving. Thank you for your service, they say. How many people in this country say that? We've lost the thread and we need to pick it back up. It is possible, but it needs somebody in high authority to embrace it. And sadly, there's not one MP that's willing to do it. Say Johnny Mercer tried and failed miserably. I don't blame Johnny for that. He thought I had it in for him. Never had it in for him. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, he was aware of the situation. And he is aware of the situation, but like I say, the doors were blocked and he wasn't allowed in. And now he's on the outside. And he's getting a little bit more traction now because he is on the outside. So there we go. Messages, officers on the ground. Feed it up the line. Might be ignored, but at least you can say you fed it up the line. You know the truth. You know how many of your men and women who are struggling. And they'll be struggling for the rest of their lives if something's not done about it. In memory of those that have gone, we need to make sure that their lives were not lost in vain. Jeff Williams, Veterans United Against Suicide. Have a lovely